The article I chose highlights the similarities and differences of the impact that social media has on users in the United States and Korea. This article inspired me to ask about the interviewee's personal relationship with social media, but also to analyze their country's relationship with it as well. It mentions how important the incorporation of culture in studies of social media is, which is what made the consideration of the interviewee's own culture within the questions so crucial. The article resonated with me because body image is something I often struggle with. I've recently been interested in the role social media has in that struggle. American culture is becoming more and more concerned with social media presence, and it's hard to keep up with every new beauty and lifestyle trend when they spread so fast. I was inspired to ask questions regarding this phenomenon to find out if it's similar outside the US. I interviewed Karoline Vikelichheim, who was born and raised in Norway. She lives in Oslo and works at Mester Krohn, a flower shop in the city. I've known Karoline since I was born, and she's always been a very independent person. I wanted to get her take on social media and see if it would represent the general Norwegian attitude towards it. One thing that she and I have in common is that we both use social media mainly for
the funny film clips, pictures, memes, and as I said before, inspirations from other people with the same interests and hobbies as me.
I spend most of my time on Twitter, and I mainly follow funny accounts. Karoline does the same, but she uses Facebook more often. We may have our reasons for using social media in common, but many others do not share this commonality. The article states that being thin is one of the most important characteristics for women to be physically attractive in the United States. About 50% of American women express a negative evaluation of their appearance and concern about their weight. This can often lead to many young women developing depression and eating disorders. But in Norway,
the beauty standards here are pretty basic. You know, you got that Nordic beauty, no makeup, fresh, red cheeks, freckles, that, you know, it's normal looking.
Her response shows a contrast between the achievability of beauty standards within the two cultures, and the difference of what young users see glorified or praised on social media in both respective countries. This response aligned with my attitudes towards American culture versus Norwegian culture. From my point of view, Americans seem more concerned with their physical appearance and strive for aesthetic perfection. Norwegians seem to be more preoccupied with striving for a natural and positive lifestyle. And Karoline agrees with this, but yet the impact of social media is creeping up on Norway, and she can see that it is starting to influence Norwegian youth.
I don't like to see people forgetting who they are, you know, probably feeling a lot of outside pressure to look a certain way, and yeah, it saddens me to see that.
Another aspect we discussed was social media's impact on self-esteem. The article cites findings that show both Koreans and Americans have higher psychological well-being when they are more satisfied with their body, which results in higher self-esteem. This poses a threat to young people and, quote, the importance of educating young people about how to critically evaluate messages and images about body to encourage them to develop a healthy body image. Without a healthy body image, they will be unable to lead a happy life, regardless of their cultural background, unquote. Karoline stated that she does not have issues with self-esteem, but acknowledged that seeing quote-unquote perfect people all day online can take a toll on one's well-being.
But you can see a lot, especially I think on Instagram, a lot of people paint a picture of a perfect life, and maybe you get to know those people, and their life isn't that perfect at all.
Her response regarding self-esteem contradicted my attitudes towards my own. It's a personal matter, and I can't say that I don't have issues with self-esteem. I know social media contributes to those issues, and no matter how hard I try to avoid harmful images and posts, I am still negatively impacted almost every day. To reinforce this even further, the article says how, quote, given the ubiquity of media messages and nearly unavoidable consumption of media, it is not surprising that scholars have claimed that current standards of beauty are communicated to women primarily through popular media, unquote. No matter where you are in the world, if you have access to media, you will see an enforced perception of beauty. What differs, though, is how vulnerable the country's people are to this exposure. Despite having different evaluations of our self-esteem levels, our attitude aligned in our collective belief that people present altered or fabricated lives on social media, and sometimes it's hard to deny their authenticity and easy to instead envy their seemingly perfect life. Social media has an undeniable impact on people from all around the world, and we've only cracked the surface of how these effects differ across cultures and nations. But for now, we have to try to evaluate ourselves, analyze what is presented to us online, and take some advice from Catalina.
It's important to sculpt what's right for you and not look so much to others what they are doing. That's not important. Do your own thing, do what makes you happy.